Picture this. You're sitting at a slot machine, bells are ringing, lights are flashing, and coins are dropping into your tray. You feel like you're on fire, like Lady Luck herself is sitting right next to you, whispering sweet victories in your ear. But here's what I'm about to tell you. That feeling, that rush, that sense of being a winner, it's all manufactured. And the people who designed it, they're counting on you never figuring that out. I'm speaking as someone who's seen behind the curtain. An ex-casino insider who's watched thousands of players get caught in a web so sophisticated, so psychologically crafted, that most people never realize they're trapped until their wallet is empty and they're driving home wondering what just happened. The truth is, casinos have perfected the art of making you think you're winning, even when you're losing, and today I'm going to expose exactly how they do it. But first, let me ask you something. When was the last time you walked out of a casino feeling like a winner? Not just financially, but emotionally. That high, that buzz, that feeling like you cracked the code, drop it in the comments because I guarantee what you experienced wasn't luck, it was engineering. The casino industry spends millions of dollars every year studying human psychology, behavioral patterns, and what makes people tick. They don't leave anything to chance because they can't afford to. Every sound, every color, every flashing light has been tested, refined, and perfected to create one thing: the illusion that you're winning more than you actually are. Now, most players think the house edge is the casino's biggest weapon. Wrong. The house edge is just math. What really keeps the money flowing is something far more powerful. It's the psychological tricks that make you believe you're beating the system when the system is actually beating you. Here's the first secret they don't want you to know. Casinos have mastered something called intermittent reinforcement. This is the same psychological principle that keeps people addicted to social media, video games, and yes, gambling. It works like this. Instead of rewarding you consistently, which would actually make the reward less exciting, they reward you randomly and unpredictably. Think about it. If you knew you were going to win every 10th spin, gambling would become boring. But when you don't know if the next spin will be the big one, your brain releases dopamine. Not when you win, but when you anticipate winning. That's why you keep playing. The anticipation, not the actual victory. But here's where it gets really clever. Casinos have figured out how to trigger that dopamine hit without actually paying you. Near misses. You know that moment when two jackpot symbols line up and the third one stops just one position away? That wasn't an accident, that was programmed. Studies show that near misses activate the same reward centers in your brain as actual wins. Your brain literally can't tell the difference between almost winning and actually winning. So you get the chemical high of victory while the casino keeps your money. It's brilliant and it's ruthless. Let me give you a real example. I used to watch players at penny slots who would sit there for hours, convinced they were having a great session because they kept hitting small wins and near misses. They'd walk away talking about how close they came to the big jackpot, how the machine was so hot, how they almost broke the bank. Meanwhile, they'd fed $300 into a machine and walked away with $40. But in their minds, they were winners. They had stories to tell. They had excitement to remember. They had hope for next time. The casino didn't just take their money, they made them grateful for the experience. This is where most gambling advice gets it wrong. Everyone talks about odds and strategies and bankroll management. But the real battle isn't mathematical, it's psychological. The casino isn't trying to beat your logic. They're trying to hijack your emotions, and it starts the moment you walk through those doors. The carpet pattern's designed to be slightly disorienting, so you lose track of time and direction. The absence of clocks and windows, creating a timeless bubble where hours feel like minutes. The free drinks that lower your inhibitions just enough to make riskier bets seem reasonable. Even the layout of the gaming floor is strategic. High-limit slots aren't just placed randomly. They're positioned where winners will be most visible, creating the illusion that big payouts happen more often than they actually do. When you see someone hit a jackpot, your brain doesn't calculate the thousands of players who didn't win. It focuses on the possibility that you could be next. The most insidious part? Casinos have learned to make losing feel like winning. Those participation ribbons disguised as small payouts. That celebration music that plays when you win back 30 cents on a dollar bet. The flashing lights that make every tiny return feel like a major victory. Your brain processes all of this as success, even though your wallet tells a different story. But here's what really blows my mind about how sophisticated this system has become. Casinos now use something called loss disguised as wins. You know those moments when you bet $5 and win back $3, but the machine erupts in celebration like you just hit the lottery? The bells ring, the screen explodes with colors, victory music plays, and coins drop into the tray. Your brain registers this as a win even though you just lost $2. This isn't accidental. It's programmed deception. The machine is literally training you to associate losing money with positive emotions. Over time, your brain starts craving these fake victories, and you'll keep playing just to experience that manufactured high. Again and again, I remember watching one player at a Buffalo slot who was absolutely convinced he was crushing it. He kept talking about all his bonus rounds, all his free spins, all the times the screen lit up with celebration. When I looked at his actual balance, he'd started with $200 and was down to $60, but he felt like a champion because the machine told him he was winning dozens of times. That's when it hit me. The casino wasn't just taking his money, they were rewriting his entire perception of reality. Now let's talk about the most dangerous trick in their playbook, the illusion of control. Casinos have figured out that if they can make you believe your decisions matter, you'll play longer and bet bigger. That's why modern slot machines have so many buttons, so many choices, so many ways to customize your bet. Stop and spin buttons that make you think timing matters, multiple pay lines that make you believe strategy is involved, bonus games where you pick from treasure chests or spin wheels, creating the illusion that your choices determine the outcome. None of this actually affects your odds, but it makes you feel like a skilled player instead of someone feeding coins into a computer program. The reality? Every outcome was determined the millisecond you pressed spin. Everything else is just theater designed to keep you engaged and feeling empowered. But here's where the psychology gets really dark. Casinos have learned to exploit what's called the sunk cost fallacy. The more money you've already invested, the harder it becomes to walk away, because your brain tricks you into thinking you need to win it back. They feed this by showing you exactly how much you've won during your session, but never how much you've actually lost. Those player tracking cards aren't just for comps. They're collecting data on your playing patterns, your loss tolerance, your emotional triggers. The casino knows exactly how much you can lose before you'll quit, and they'll engineer your experience to keep you right at that edge. I've seen players who were down $800 get excited about a $200 bonus round. In their minds, they just won big. In reality, they're still down $600. But the casino made them feel grateful for getting a tiny portion of their own money back. This is why so many people drive home from casinos feeling confused. They remember winning, they remember excitement, they remember those moments of celebration. But their bank account tells a completely different story. It's not that they have bad memory, it's that their memory was systematically manipulated by professionals who understand exactly how the human brain processes rewards and losses. The most chilling part is how casinos use social proof to validate these fake wins. When someone hits a jackpot, every machine in the area lights up, the bells ring throughout the entire section. Other players stop and look. Security comes over with cameras. Everyone's watching. Everyone's excited. Everyone's thinking they could be next. What you don't see are the hundreds of players who lost quietly, whose losses generated no fanfare, no attention, no social validation. The casino amplifies every win and silences every loss, creating a completely distorted picture of what's actually happening on that floor. And the final psychological trap? They've made losing feel temporary, but winning feel inevitable. Every near miss suggests the big win is coming. Every small payout proves the machine is ready to pay. Every bonus round hints that the jackpot is building. Meanwhile, your losses are framed as investments in future wins, as necessary steps toward the big payday that's surely coming next. So there you have it. The truth behind the glittering facade. Every celebration sound, every near miss, every small win disguised as a victory is part of a calculated system designed to separate you from your money while making you thank them for the privilege the house doesn't just have a mathematical edge. They've weaponized psychology itself. Now, I'm not telling you to never step foot in a casino again. But the next time those lights start flashing and those bells start ringing, remember what's really happening. Your brain is being hacked by professionals who've spent decades perfecting their craft. That rush you feel isn't luck, it's manipulation. The most powerful thing you can do is simply recognize it for what it is. When you understand the game behind the game, you can't be played the same way. You'll start noticing the patterns, the manufactured emotions, the carefully crafted illusions that once seemed so real. What's your biggest takeaway from what we've covered today? Have you experienced any of these psychological tricks firsthand? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this opened your eyes to how deep the rabbit hole really goes, hit that like button and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because knowledge is the only weapon that works against a system built on deception. The casino will always have the edge, but now you know exactly how they're getting it.